Today's topic is breaking through your relationship with your teen, understanding your teen's temperament. I'd like to introduce our expert today, Dr. Clare Albright, who is a psychologist and life coach for teens and their parents. Her screen name is Dr. Clarity. So, Dr. Clarity, tell us about the different temperaments.
I just love this topic, Kim. It's one of the most powerful ways I've ever seen to improve marriages and to improve parents' relationships with their teens. The four temperaments are sanguine, choleric, melancholy, and phlegmatic, and there's many other systems like the DISC test that people do in their corporations, which stands for dominant, interpersonal, steady, and compulsive. And then the other famous system is the colors, red, green, blue, etc., and yellow. And then the other system is lion, otter, beaver, and golden retriever. I'll use the oldest one, which is from 450 AD. Hippocrates brought it up, which founded this whole movement. And I'll start with the sanguine. If you have a sanguine teen, what you have is a fun-loving teen who could even leave in the middle of a chore or assignment if they find there's something fun going on somewhere else. A sanguine teen may look like they don't even want to grow up, and they tend to be stressed out if there aren't places to go and people to see. It's a pretty extroverted temperament, and this teen doesn't usually have like the fiery inner purpose that other temperaments have, like the choleric. And they're more activated not by inner purpose, but by what's going on around them.
What about any negative traits? For example, are there any negative traits to look for in this temperament?
Yes, a sanguine may have difficulty concentrating on one thing for long, and new events can easily distract them. They have a restless changeability that can be irritating for their parents and teachers, and the interest that a sanguine shows in everything makes them popular and good social bridge builders. And parties, of course, are great fun for sanguines because in all of their lives they don't like to be alone that much. And you'll look at a sanguine, you'll see an expressive face and sparkling eyes, and it's hard for them to even tolerate it when their friends have conflict with them. Or let's say a friend is mad and is distancing them. That's so hard for them because a sanguine is most like themselves when they feel loved. In extreme forms, a sanguine can appear superficial and may be unable to concentrate on a game or to amuse themselves for too long. So it's always good as a parent to teach that skill of sticking to tasks.
And how about the next temperament, the choleric?
The cholerics are born leaders, and on a bad day, people can consider them controlling or bossy. A choleric teen has a drive to greatness, and on a bad day, they'll even seem like they step on other people's toes to get to their greatness. And they need a lot of appreciation along the way. This temperament really appreciates verbal affirmation and encouragement. Cholerics have an extroverted temperament, and these teens like to assert themselves, kind of like a born lawyer. They're usually able to tackle a job which would make others pause.
How about body language of a choleric?
Great question. You will see it's very clear that cholerics even walk with a firm step. Their nonverbals may seem a little overly forceful at times. They'll always be out in front. They're marked as leaders. They like to have the main role in the school play. They like to organize people. They can inspire a group to complete difficult tasks, and it's not unusual to see a choleric red with anger and with their eyes flashing in anger. This temperament likes to win. They're competitive usually, but they seldom bear a grudge.
How should a parent deal with such a teen?
One of the biggest mistakes I see is parents getting in power struggles with the choleric temperament. I was raised with pretty authoritarian parenting style, Kim, in my childhood, and I have a lot of choleric in me, and so what it can end up looking like is just a big power struggle in the home. So if you go like power to power, head to head, authority to authority, it's not the best way to influence your choleric teen. In fact, usually it gets them nowhere. Other parenting styles and discipline styles, I would recommend the parent reading up on other methods besides just overpowering your teen. Cholerics need to be appreciated and given things to do which challenge them and use up all their excessive energy. These teens have massive amounts of energy. They learn best from people who do things well and whom they can admire.
That's great information. How about the phlegmatic?
Yes, that temperament is stubborn and set in their ways and uncomfortable with confrontation. They seek peace at all costs and avoid strife.
I remember something about the sleep needs of the phlegmatic. What is that all about again?
I'm glad you asked. One of the ways a phlegmatic will cope with stress is they'll use sleep as their coping, and I admire it because it's not alcohol, it's not drugs, and it's not overeating, it's not gambling, all the destructive things teens can get messed up with in our society. So they'll use sleep to regroup often. However, often your phlegmatic teen will feel like they can never get enough sleep. The phlegmatic type is also very annoying to cholerics, as this is the one temperament that they cannot be coerced into doing something if they don't want to. The phlegmatic is an introverted temperament, and this teen doesn't connect easily with what's going on around them because their interests are not easily aroused. Eating can be a prime attraction for a phlegmatic, and they may even end up with a body that looks like that. They're generally very easy to bring up, and they may not get the attention they need because they're so easy to bring up.
So I always love to look at how do the parents deal with this type of a temperament?
Good question. Basically, this child will enjoy any comforting things the parents do. And if the parents are doting, such as this is your only child and you waited till late in life to have the child, you can actually overindulge and spoil this type of child easily. A phlegmatic needs to be stimulated to action. They need to be stimulated to take interest. They'll need your support in getting involved and engaged with life more than some of the other temperaments. They're generally placid and they don't anger easily except when extremely frustrated. Phlegmatics tend to be methodical. They keep their things in order. They can be counted on to do what they set out to do, though speed is no object for them. They may go too slow.
This sounds a lot like me. I'm wondering, does this trait have a quality of stubbornness to it?
You're funny, yes. There is a definite stubbornness in most phlegmatics, and they're usually resistant to new ideas. They adore routine. They need to be encouraged to join in with other teens and to try new activities. And when they do find an interest in others, they are very loyal and steadfast friends.
How about the melancholic?
The melancholic has an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. They're prone to genius. They're very creative. Their minds tend to work overtime, going over and over and over events of the past. And they need alone time to regroup. Things people say can easily wound a melancholy, and they're long remembered.
How about any other traits of the melancholic?
When surrounded by different things going on, they choose what interests them, and they're not diverted by the group's opinion. A melancholy teen will give themselves up easily to their own imagination. Their imaginations tend to be extremely rich, making them excellent poets, writers, and songwriters. They have an inner concentration that gives them a depth and an understanding, and they can ask profound questions about God, about death, and while they never want to be the heart and soul of the party, they do appreciate a warm social environment.
Well, thanks so much about the 4 temperaments. That's great information. For those of you who would like help with your teen, if you're struggling with some issues, please feel free to contact Dr. Clarity at area code 949-454-0996. Once again, that's area code 949-454-0996. Her website again is teenpowertalk.com. And thanks for listening today.